prelude to one of the United States' most intense aerial mysteries falls on the backdrop of the devastating attack on Pearl Harbor. Explanations range from birds and blimps to Japanese planes, even visitors from another world. One thing was for certain. It was an unidentifiable flying object. A UFO.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
Reports of strange flying objects in the sky are older than the United States. Some of them reported in scientific journals that date back to the 16th century, but they've usually been classed with Loch Ness monsters and relegated to the Sunday supplements, until World War II showed us that some of the most fantastic dreams can be very real, like atomic bombs, for instance. And since the close of the war, hundreds of reports of strange objects in the sky have been filed with the Air Force, and most of them have been easily explained. Experimental jet aircraft, weather balloons, reflected ground lights, unusual cloud formations, and so on.
February 23rd, 1942. The sighting of a Japanese submarine off the coast of Santa Barbara, California, heightened fears of a mainland invasion. As the sun set, the shelling began. February 24th, 1942, 7:18 p.m. That evening, warnings of a further invasion by naval intelligence put much of the Los Angeles coastline under yellow alert. Tensions eased over the next few hours, prompting a white alert to be issued. February 25th, 1942, 2:25 a.m. Air raid sirens penetrated the night silence. Radars pinpoint an unidentified flying object approaching the metropolis, forcing a blackout. LA descended into darkness as the gunners prepared for the invasion.
You almost expect at any moment to see something unusual come out of the haze toward us.
It's a well-known story within UFO history.
Anti-aircraft guns went into action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific wartime this morning. The anti-aircraft guns began barking during a blackout ordered by the 4th Interceptor Command at 2:25 a.m. The unidentified object, which some sources thought might be a blimp, moved slowly down the Pacific coast from Santa Monica and disappeared south of Long Beach.
They spotted an object in the sky over Los Angeles, an oval object. So people thought, here we go, we're going to be attacked by the Japanese. They had anti-aircraft batteries at the ready, and off they went. Fired thousands of rounds at this thing. It was caught in the searchlights, you know, of the city. And of course, it's gone down in UFO lore because there was no attack ever on the mainland of the United States by the Japanese. So some people said, well, perhaps this oval-shaped object was a UFO. You know, this made headlines in the newspapers. And the reason it didn't get hit is because it's not of this earth.
Captured by a Los Angeles Times photographer, The famous photograph gave history a glimpse of the source for LA's most frightening air raid.
Black and white picture. You see the searchlights all converging on an object in the sky. There's some anti-aircraft fire around it. And it looks like when the searchlights, you know, are all linked together, all come together, that there is some kind of object within it. That's fueled speculation as to what it may or may not have been.
What was the catalyst for the Battle of LA and the largest barrage of anti-aircraft fire from American soil?
This is, you know, downtown Los Angeles. You know, high above it, there must have been thousands, if not tens of thousands of people who at least saw some part of it that night. You know, by its very nature, with the searchlights and the anti-aircraft fire, you couldn't hide it. The civilians in Los Angeles panicked somewhat. They thought this was an attack by, you know, the armed forces of Japan.
The barrage of artillery fire on the UFO damaged several buildings and vehicles and brought the death count up to 5. The LA chaos brought on 2 heart attacks and 3 fatalities from vehicle accidents. Declassification of government documents highlighted a secret investigation into the ominous, ambiguous UFO, stating that the initial discharge of artillery fire was from orders to destroy a balloon with a red flare attached. The barrage then ensued, with servicemen reporting they had fired upon balloons, airships, and even reported setting alight an enemy plane. The mystery deepened. Japanese involvement was ruled out. No aircraft had been launched on the night in question. Any aircraft seen could only have originated from American soil. A theory put to bed by the secret U.S. investigation.
Back in the day, in 1942, the US authorities said it had been nerves, that some people were trigger happy, and in fact that nothing was caught in the searchlight beams. So it was just you know, nervous tension. The air raid sirens had gone up, and at the first hint of anything, why not shoot at it?
Henry Stimson, the Secretary of War, had a different viewpoint, stating that at least 15 planes had buzzed the city, fueling speculation of enemy agents in commercial aircraft set out to strike fear into the hearts of the LA residents. His account, although taken back at a later date, corroborated thousands of eyewitness accounts claiming to see aircrafts in the night sky. No one had a definitive answer. It was all speculation. The story faded away until a new theory was touted in 1948.
And this time, you know, a tried and tested explanation was trotted out by the authorities. And this time, of course, it was a weather balloon. So it was still nothing, you know, but it certainly wasn't the Japanese, whatever it was.
This theory was supported by the fact the target was moving too slowly to be a plane.
Yeah, it's a tried and tested explanation, is the weather balloon, and I think they still use it to this very day. You know, a weather balloon is something that is launched even today. We still use them. It goes into various parts of our atmosphere and does, you know, what it says on the tin. It reads the weather, not just from its location, but it can carry equipment, you know, sometimes to test the weather in other areas or other parts of the atmosphere, and of course that goes back to the ground. You know, there was thousands of rounds of anti-aircraft fired at whatever this may or may not have been, and of course nothing was shot down. You know, nothing, no weather balloon, no Japanese bomber, no flying saucer, nothing.
Theories being thrown around. One thing is certain: no one knows definitively what caused it, remaining an enigma for all time.